Welcome to the round of 16 in the starter deck tournament. We are going first, Nature Mirror, so good start to this one. We don't want the double Staff of Roots, but one's pretty solid. I'm going to get greedy with the Spear Soul, and of course get the Hunt, which isn't optimized. The turn 1 Wild Hog is very strong. Very strong indeed. Canopy solid, okay. So pretty easy decision here on 1. Depending on what they do on 2, we might do this or this. Either way is pretty solid. Okay, they go with the Jag, so we're definitely going to Canopy Barrage here. Pretty solid. Pretty solid counter to their open right there. Next turn, we can do this. We can do this. We can do this. We never do this. We do this some. So those are our options. So we're going to play A3 themselves and Revivification. Okay. So what will they get? They will get a Noxious Deadly Spider. That is somewhat annoying for sure. I think the Staff of Roots is called for here. We'll go ahead and remove the Spider. This guy's going to go wherever he wants to go. It doesn't matter where I click. It's 50-50 either direction. So he does hit the Frisky Fox Pup. I didn't want to play the Hunt Warden with the 1/1 Deadly on board. They cleaned that up too easily here. This hits here or hits here or goes face. It does something. Okay, they've got a Staff of Roots, so they're going to peel here and probably attempt to trade here. Best friends, that's good for our opponent, unfortunately. So they'll get that off the board, and they're going to try to trade there, and they are indeed successful. So we're gonna peel off the Eagle and play Underbridge in most lines here. Yeah, no reason to commit our pip yet. Just go ahead, get a big minion on the board. You could have argued that peeling this made some sense as well. We probably get the first pick in the Sanctum, though if they can deal with this, maybe we don't. The Angry Hippo coming out on the board next turn is pretty big, and if they've got a Hippo to counter, we've got the Hunt. So this could be working out for us. They've got the Bladefly, which is very, very big for our opponent. And will they attack with the Badger? It's 50-50 to run into here. It's interesting. If it runs into here, we peel here. If they don't attack at all or it goes face, we peel here. So those are the different lines I take depending on what they do. And interesting, they secure that attack, which is very strange to me. Very strange indeed. So now what do I want to do? I think I want to hit here and play the Angry Hippo. So we're going to do this and this. We're asking the question to them. There's not like super easy ways to exploit this board position, and if they leave too many minions on board, we've got the Hunt. That is at least my thought process coming in to this situation. They can trade everything to kill this. They've got an okay. They did that attack last turn because they had the second Staff of Roots, so they can swing, and this lives. So the second Staff of Roots coming in big for our opponent here, and that will definitely be what they do. They'll swing here. Okay, they're going to elect to give us more favor. And okay, never mind. The order wasn't substantial there. But yeah, they did exactly what I thought they would do. Probably use the GP here, get value out of that. We'll probably play Hunt Warden, and the question is what else do we want to do? And the Bladefly actually is maybe a little bit better here. Yeah, I like the Bladefly more. We want to play the Hunt probably next turn in most scenarios. So they're going to be able to peel one of our 2/2s off of this. And the question is can they reach the Form of Power? That is definitely the best card in the Sanctum from their perspective. Okay, they've got an Angry Hippo. We've got the Hunt. So they're definitely going to peel off probably this 2/2 right here. And then they've got awkward, they probably should attempt to go face with these Badgers, because if one misses, the Walking Plant can clean up. That's the general idea. So they probably should, but they lead with the Walking Plant, which is super awkward. Because then those can't really attack. So how much health does our opponent have on board? They've got 8. So if I gave up 2 of these, I could play the hunt. I just don't think it's smart. I don't think it's smart here. I think we give up all of these. Now, unfortunately, they're going to get to the form of power into the sanctum, but we're going to go wide here. I think what we want to do is we want to set up a very effective hunt. And the blade fly there, I think, does help. We got rid of the big threat. These badgers are kind of just sitting there at the moment. Kind of somewhat awkward for them. They have their own hunt, but we do have enough health on board that this won't be a complete board wipe. 2 of our minions live. Unfortunately, it's that variation. They attack there first. Interesting. I would have led with a badger if I was them. Will they make a decision in the sanctum is the question. We do have the hunt ourselves, which can be pretty useful. I don't want to purchase the wind-up roller because it just dies to the form of power, which they just purchased. So the Vanguard Axewoman was actually a very nice top deck. We can go ahead and play that. The Battle Oryx fits with our mana curve here, so we'll play that and go ahead and use the God Power. So now this game's going to come down to who can get more value in the later game. And unfortunately, my deck tops out at 6. We haven't drawn the Jolly Green Giant yet. And they have the next pick in the Sanctum, which can be the Ranger First Bow to pick this off, or they can Ranger First Bow and Form of Power to pick this off. So they've got multiple good uses for Ranger First Bow here. It will just be interesting to see which direction our opponent elects to go with this. So yeah, again, I was expecting them to purchase that. And yeah, they remove that, which definitely makes sense. So they're going to keep back, most likely, though. They're going to use their Form of Power on the Badger. I'm not sure if that was the optimized play. Oh, they wanted a canopy here. Okay, that makes sense. Makes sense now. Definitely makes sense now. Unfortunately, we draw Axewoman, which doesn't really accomplish much. You don't want to be drawing your 8-drop, I mean, your 1-drops at 7. So that is very unfortunate. And this hunt just doesn't feel like we're able to get value out of it. They got value out of their hunt, but we are not able to get value out of ours. And currently, that's why I think they are indeed winning the game. They've got 3 cards in hand, and we've got this lone duck here that isn't accomplishing much. So they're going to go ahead, play a couple of minions onto the board. So they are indeed establishing some board presence. We have to get some value out of the hunt right now. No other choice. I have to play it. And that will allow us to buy the next card in the Sanctum. We'll buy the Nightleaf Trapper for board presence. Just trying to stay somewhat ahead on the board. But this is going to come down to who can draw their biggest, beefiest things later into this game. And at the moment, we're not really holding big, beefy stuff. And our opponent has 3 cards in hand, which begs the question, what are they holding? And you know, can those cards potentially swing the game? That's a huge card for our opponent. A 6/6 for 6 that's going to take over the game here. And we are in a lot of trouble right now. Just spamming the board. But this card seems to be the swing. We haven't drawn our big 6-drop yet, which is Jolly Green Giant. And it is nowhere to be found. They get the next pick in the Sanctum. Most likely they should pick the Athenian Archer. They might buy the bait on the Lambasting Wand, which isn't normally the best pick. But we have our backs up against the wall right now. Opponent here going to the rope. Very interesting. So they do the obvious attack, which I don't know why they don't do that instantly. Do they have the hunt or something? Because another hunt here is pretty devastating. They have the charging orcs. So their top end is definitely a lot better than ours. And we're going to lose this game. Definitely something to consider for game number 2. And yeah, let's just call this what it is. So we went first in game 1 and we lost. So now we're switching decks because that last deck obviously was trash. So now we're playing a more aggressive deck, and we're gonna see if we can seize the early game. We like this, and I think this is good. We'll try this out. See if this works out here. Try out the war. War is the other popular god. I figure if we're going to lose this match, we're going to lose it in two different ways. And that's the mentality I'm taking here. Okay, they've got the Jag again, but we've got the Blade of Sticks this time. So we can go ahead and peel off that Jaguar very effectively. And go ahead and get some value with this guy going face. So good start to this game. After losing game number 1, round of 16, our backs are up against the wall here. Needing a win and a must-win situation to advance to the next round. Or to actually just to force game number 3, really. They have the Axewoman to trade into here, which is very effective for our opponent, unfortunately for us. And Animal Bond. So we have the option between... I mean, we're going to play both of these, but which one do we want to remove the Badger is the question. I will go ahead and leave this guy with 3 health, because I think that's going to matter. I'm less worried about genuinely pinging stuff at the moment. Leaving this with durability is somewhat risky because of Nefarious Briar, but at this point we just got to hope he doesn't have it. That's not a good sign. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. We can trade this and this into here, and I think we do very well. We do very well here. So we go ahead, remove this minion, and I believe we want to put the stats on this Bladecaster and try to get it to kind of get out of hand. This is the mentality I'm taking here. We've got a very good early board presence. Good chance to pick up the Rune of Strength next turn, the best card in the Sanctum. They're at 4, and we're very wide. So this is a very good situation for us to be in. So we're going to be able to attack into here. Okay, this is actually very good. This is very good for us. So we're going to be able to play the Rune of Strength on here, remove this minion as well, go to the face. We're dominating the early board presence here in this critical game number 2. And a good chance to force game number 3, I would have to say. Got the Vicious Rend. If they play a Hippo, we can give this and the Vicious Rend up. They're out of pips, so we're 2 turns away from worrying about the hunt. And I think we're really just controlling the board at the moment, which is very, very satisfying from our point of view. So go ahead, rip that off the board. Here, I am going to just GP. We're going to go ahead and play the Battle Orcs. Again, the wider you go, the better here in this situation. And this situation is very difficult for our opponent to get out of. We just have commanding board presence. And I think that we're about to force a game 3 situation after losing game number 1 while going first. A tough spot indeed. But here we have, yeah, we've got lethal. And we've got double lethal. No, actually, it's just tricky. If I play the underbrush board, the math is less clear, right? So this goes, Vicious Rend is indeed lethal. Okay. We also have lethal in the Sanctum with the GP as well. But this works. This works indeed. So we force game number 3. So we lost game number 1, we win game number 2, and now here we are in the critical game number 3. The winner goes on to the top 8, and we are going first again. So our opponent is very angry right now, I'd imagine. Rightfully so. And Enduring Shield is great. Bloodboil Outlaw. I think we Enduring Shield on 1 and Bladecaster on 2, and it's kind of disgusting. Yeah. I think we keep this. Like this and this on 1's pretty solid as well. I'm going to Enduring Shield on 1 because of stuff like Bronze Servant can be pretty problematic. And we can get an attack in with the Enduring Shield and give protected to something. Yeah. So we can play this, and attack here. Ooh, actually, no. This is smoother. This is smoother indeed, because we get the guaranteed kill here. Yeah, very smooth. Getting value out of the Enduring Shield. Now, they could indeed have Bronze Servant, but they only get one durability off the Enduring Shield, so guaranteeing one attack off of it is huge. Otherwise, you do get exposed at times. It's a very risky card to run. It's very dominant if there is no early answer to it, but it can indeed be very risky if there is an answer to it. We've handled the turn 1 Jaguar in all 3 games, which a lot of times can be very problematic. They're going to get out the revocation here. We're hoping one of the creatures dies to Enduring Shield, and in fact both do. Orcish Elite. So I want to give protected to the Blade Caster, and that is indeed what we're going to do. We're going to give protected to the Blade Caster. I went ahead and attacked because a lot of times these decks run Nefarious Briar, and Briar is very problematic because again they get our shield. We're just giving protected to this minion is going to be problematic for our opponent because it's going to continue to grow. So this guy will be able to trade with one of the 2/2s in a positive fashion for our opponent. Okay, best friends. Good turn for them. Good turn for them indeed. But we're going to be able to get the Ranger First Bow. We're going to be able to attack and then attack with this somewhere and then Ranger First Bow. Yeah, this is difficult for them already. Let's do this attack. It's honestly not a horrendous result for our opponent there. But this board presence is disgusting. Yeah, we just have a good board here. All right, so we're definitely situated very nicely here, and just going first in a 3rd game in a row is very difficult for our opponent. They have Bladefly. Bladefly is probably one of the best cards they could have. Unfortunately for them, Orcish Elite happens to be the best card we could have here. Just going to go ahead, deal with that Bladefly incredibly effectively. And we'll go ahead and trade off the 2/1 and he'll just concede. It's just too much going first in 3 straight.